facility the Bismarck Civic Center is. It brings in probably millions of dollars, and I'd be interested if anyone ever had a calculation of what the Civic Center itself brought in between the state wrestling tournaments we have periodically, basketball tournaments, concerts, whatnot. But it also is a vital centerpiece, no pun intended, for the city of Bismarck, because it provides a community gathering space. If you think about it, I don't know too many communities of our size that have a professional basketball team, and we wouldn't have a professional basketball team if it weren't for the Civic Center, which is a great opportunity for people to get out, socialize, recreate in the community. We get concerts in here, we get rodeos, we get shows on Broadway, we get things that a community of our size, when you look around the country, and specifically around the state, being from Minot originally, thank goodness for the state fairgrounds in Minot, or they would never have anything. And so having a Civic Center that brings in definitely a good chunk of revenue and sales tax dollars, and as well as just community space is great, and I think we need to do everything we can. And I've read through the plans for the Civic Center. I went back and right before I started running, started doing my research, and one of the things I knew would come up in this is the plans for the Civic Center and where it's going. And you go back to the plans for the Civic Center, and I think part of the issue with the Civic Center is every 3 years the plan for the Civic Center changes. And that can be a good thing, but when every 3 years the direction is being changed, it's not just minor changes to the plan. The direction of the Civic Center one day is to be a big concert venue, the next day it's to be a small community venue for community gathering spaces, things like that, and it keeps doing this back and forth. I think the City Commission needs to pull together local businesses, local interest groups like people from the park board, individuals that we might not have thought of, to sit down, put together a long-term plan, 5, 10 years, say where are we going to go, and then stick to it. Not in 3 years when we figure out, well, oh gee, this might not work out, change the direction again. Let's stick to it, let's make it work. You know, one of the other things I've noticed in every single one of those reports, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, going back into the mid-'80s, says not having an attached hotel is losing us shows. Not having an attached hotel is losing us opportunities to bring in trade shows, to bring in different venues, to bring in different things. And so I think that's something we need to look at. I happen to agree with one of my fellow candidates that I think that needs to be done in a way that doesn't hurt current business, and having a partnership. You know, they're fairly successful, although it's a different setup with the Alaire Center in Grand Forks, and having a venue like that. You know, unfortunately, there really isn't private development space to build a hotel, so the city's going to have to be involved in some way, shape, or form there. And I certainly agree, though, that whatever we do, we have great facilities in this town now, but we need to start planning for that. We need to start taking that big picture and take a longer-term approach rather than this piecemeal 3 years by 3 years approach to how it's been done.
Thank you, Judge. Chris Ebertz, what's your opinion on views of the optimum use and the expansion of the Civic Center?
Well, this question was asked at the last forum of us, and I feel the same way. The Civic Center is just that. It's meant to be the Civic Center. One of the complaints we hear about from our kids, and I think we all said that, was there's nothing to do in Bismarck. And really, when you look at it in some regards, what do we have to offer our youth from the age that they're 15 to 23? And I don't know. I think we all know what ends up happening. I think that's one of the reasons why we're struggling. The county, both counties and both cities, Mandan and Bismarck, are struggling about you know, how are we going to build new jails because of all these. And so I guess from my perspective is that I'd look at it as rather than investing a bunch of money, or a bunch of taxpayers' money, or sales, or whatever it is. Actually, it's going to come from you, the taxpayer, is and build something where we have a large facility, and then the tickets have got to go up, and everybody's priced out of it. Still, we have the young folks of Bismarck standing outside the door saying, "Well, you know, I can't afford to get in there." I think I'd rather see a redirection, and let's use the Civic Center. If we're gonna, before I would subsidize enlarging and improving the Civic Center, I'd look at subsidizing the Civic Center so that we could have affordable alternate entertainment for our youth. We got plenty of bands here. Let's help them grow. Let's help the local comedians grow. Let's help the local entertainers grow. Let's set something up. It wouldn't be expensive enough for our youth that they could attend it. Put those amnesty buckets in, so when they walk into the place, they find a way to disappear the stuff that they probably shouldn't have in there. They leave, well then they don't get to come back in. But we give them an opportunity, whether it's a Christian group, whether it's a rock and roll band, or whether it's community. So I say, maybe look at, I'd be open to ideas that would change the job description of the Civic Center and make it a Civic Center, someplace where we as a community, we all gather, and that's pretty much where I fall on that part of it. And it all comes down to priorities. There's where we're going to put our money. I'd like to see a public beach. I think they should sell the prison land down south and put lots there and have public beaches there. Have other forms of entertainment around the community there. So where are we going to invest our money? And we can change the job description of some of the current facilities, and I think better serve all of our residents of Bismarck. That's where it comes from.
Well, we've been here about an hour